Welcome to a new episode of The Genius. If you want to use the time machine and back to the past, so write this instruction. If mass x can travel at the speed of light v, time t is fixed and can move between points A and B, breaking all time barriers. That's probably true one way or another. So can we travel through time? Not exactly, but at least theoretically that way it's possible. Let me explain. The world at the beginning of the last century was a very beautiful place. Everyone knows there is only one truth. Not everyone based on his point of view. There is one truth we all know. And finally, physics is over. We finished it. The point is, in 1905, the world turned it completely around. One of the most famous physicists, Albert Einstein, is my friend by the way, comes up with the theory of special relativity. And he turns the world upside down. So I would like to tell you that this is one of the most important achievements of humankind. This theory has an amazing ability to explain many things. Before that, we didn't know anything about it. It took us a long time to understand it. It's not only very mathematical complex, it's against any human logic because it competes with so many of our ideas and imagination. So the theory changed a lot of our perceptions of space and time and the relationship with each other. And on the top of that theory came the respected scientist Einstein. A 26-year-old boy worked in the patents office. He doesn't have a master's or anything, but in 1905 he publishes 3 papers in 1 year. They turned physics upside down so that we can explain the sentence was I said the first of opposite about back to the past. According to ratio rates, nothing can outturn the speed of light. Put it in your mind, okay? Some objects can reach the speed of light, but no creature can go above the speed of light. In relative terms, because cosmic radar won't let you, it's gonna set you on fire. Because based on equations, so that you can get this high speed, and you have a mass, you will need an infinity power to make you reach the speed of light. But we humans like to take risks. We can find an infinity power sources. Expand your imagination, maybe. But we can ask a question. What could possibly happen if we reached the speed of light? Based on Einstein's rating, the faster the speed, the slower time goes. What does that mean? It means everything around you is a slow motion until your speed goes up to 300,000 kilometers per second. And time stops and everything stops. He's stopped. For people, time passes very normally and they see you moving. But for you, people are standing right where they are. Time stopped. There is nothing around you moving. Like that, we can play. According to time stopped, you can go back in the past or you can go to the future. But this is not true. Based on our theoretical knowledge, in order to go back in time, you have to go faster than the speed of light. Notes something. The faster you go, the slower the time goes. So when you reach the speed of light, the time stops. Then you can expect that when you go past the speed of light, time started to come back. So you started to go back to the subject, or at least see the past. And that is impossible to reach the speed of light. And it's not because we haven't seen anything above the speed of light, but that because there is mathematical evidence that prevents anything has mass to exceed the speed of light. And there is not because we didn't search well. And you have to consider something else dangerous. Going back in time could be dangerous to your own life. Any change you make will affect you now. So if you go back in time and let your father not marry your mother, not only would you be locked in that time, but logically you would not exist. If you go back in time, everything must have to go exactly the same, or else it will be turned upside down. In 1933, one writer on one of the novels posed a very important dilemma called the grandfather paradox. Let's assume now the following example. You went back in time and you had a gun and lost control of your anger, and you shot and killed your father, and you never stopped here. You went back in time again and killed your grandfather before he got married. Now, according to the book, there is a logical and philosophical problem. If your grandfather doesn't get married and your grandmother has your dad won't marry your mother, and your mother won't have you, and you will not exist. And if you don't exist, how could you go back in time and kill your grandfather? Your mother didn't have you, so you do not exist to kill him. So your grandfather will marry your grandmother and has your father, and your father will marry your mother and have you, so you'll be exist. And you will back again to the past and kill your grandfather, and your grandfather dies and didn't has your father, so your father won't have you. We go on this circle all our lives. The idea is that if any of us went back in time to change something, he changes in the reason that makes him exist. Then there is no reason why he went back in time. And this was a great crisis among the philosophers. Because any idea, whether philosophical, scientific, or in our own lives, is based on the idea of causation. Everything is happening with a reason. And if there is no reason, nothing will happen. Going back in time might erase the reason, which all things happen because of it. So we almost dismiss the notion of causation and the scientific community is almost hopeless on this subject, and in one of the most beautiful accusations that were made by famous scientist named Stephen Hawking. He says, if going back in time is possible, so it's simple and easy. You were so easy to find people from the future with us in the present. For example, that you are a future student in 2200 and your teacher told you there was an important event happening in 2022, like Leo Messi won the World Cup. Instead of having you read about it in the history books, I'm going to take you back in time to see what was going on. And nowadays we didn't see any kids from future. So if any teacher tried to do this, we have to see this happen now. But we didn't see anything. Even Stephen Hawking wanted to have a party, and he refused to announce the date of the party until after the party, so that people in the future, the date of the party is the past, according to them, so they will know the date of the party and come to it. Wow. Unfortunately, no one came to the party. That means one way or another, we can't go back in time, at least for now, unless the past is a natural protector. You can't get into it without security clearance. That's explained why they are not with us right now. But we can see the past. We can do it. We are seeing it now. The stars we see are the biggest proof of that. You are probably seeing a light of stars, died from millions years ago. You see the starlight, you don't see the star itself. Honestly, I don't want to surprise you, but we live in the past or our lives. Or at least we see the past or our life. Your mother's voice from the kitchen takes time to get to you because it's judged by the speed of light. Your mother's picture takes time because it's judged by speed of light. Your girlfriend is reply judged by internet speed. So you are receiving from the past. And when you receive that, it takes a time. So what you receive in the past was judged by the speed of light and speed of sound. So we are not deprived of the past. We live in it. But the question is, can we go back in the time and change the past? As far as we know, that was wrong. That's the bad news. But the good news, there is an episode next week and I will be there in the future waiting for you. So please don't forget to watch the last episodes and like the video and subscribe the channel, and thank you.